put up a live announcement, folks. Last minute preparations for Wednesday's big day. Bet you're all curious what this big day is. I talked about it a bit on last stream. I'm getting everybody excited on purpose. That was a bit of clickbait, I'll admit it. It was clickbait to get you all in the stream. But there is something happening on Wednesday, so it's not a lie, which we'll talk about in a sec. I just closed the gap between me and my girlfriend of 4 years this year. Oh, that's lovely. How far away did you live from each other? But yes, it's difficult, like, because both of us have said that we want to live in the UK long term because we think UK is the better country to live in. But because of circumstances and financial reasons and things, it's probably going to be easier for me to be over there across the pond for at least a couple of years. So we'll see where it goes. You moved in together. Complete opposite sides of the country, yeah. Ooh. Yeah, imagine what it's like when your partner lives thousands of miles away, because that's what it is for me. It's crazy. But yeah, I've been in I used to be in a long distance relationship with someone in the UK as well, a very long time ago. But that was terrible. That was a rubbish relationship. Sometimes it's not always to do with distance. I've known people locally and it was terrible. So yeah, relationship. Oh dear. Hello, how hope you're doing well. Hi Kia, how you doing? It's good to see you. Good pun, nice auto. Good pun. But congratulations though, because that is awesome news. 4 years is a long time to be living far apart. OGD, I'm happy for you. Okay, so Wednesday, as a reminder, we're going to be doing like a big massive brainstorm and idea sharing stream about the next, really what's going to be happening for the rest of episode 1, I guess. We're going to be talking about a mixture of things like potential side quests we could have, the next part of the main quest, what's going to happen there, as well as maybe the NPCs living in this region. And because the NPCs are going to be the quest givers, so their stories are all going to be linked in with the side quests that they give, and we're not going to get like super specific about it. We're going to just see where the conversation leads, and we'll make notes and potential ideas, and so it's going to just be a general discussion at this point. And I'm in the process of gathering like all the community sort of ideas, the relevant ones, and all of what I've planned as well so far, and we'll be talking about it on Wednesday, and everybody's invited. Anyone can get involved and talk about it with us. I'm planning on like we'll see where it goes. I'm kind of planning stuff, but I'm kind of not as well. So I don't want to get too planny. We'll see where the stream takes us. Just curious, have you ever seen Echo 607 RPG make vids? Yes, I've heard of that person, and I've watched a few of their YouTube videos. For sure, I'm kind of aware of most of the names of the folk in the RPG Maker community. I've seen them all around while I've been doing my own research. Yeah, distance is hard in most relationships. For sure. And I hope you and Mr. Kung are doing well as well. I hope you guys are doing good. They're who I learned a lot when I first got into RPG Maker. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Most of the people I wouldn't be able to name off the top of my head, but when you mention their name in chat, I usually recognise. Alrighty ho. So, Today I figured it'd probably be a good idea to finish getting the dialogue trees into the Law Bible, mainly because that means between now and Wednesday's stream you guys will like be all caught up on everything plot wise that is being implemented in the game so far, which of course actually knowing stuff that's going to happen will make it easier to share ideas and like sort of bounce things off those. You probably don't know them though. Well, not personally, no. I don't know anybody personally. I'm a hermit. Good morning, good time zone. Hi Vandalia, how you doing? Good time zone to you too. I'm having a good Monday so far. I know how it works being kind to you today. I've heard some people have got a holiday day though over there today. That's all I've heard. Right, so yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. Because we got a lot more scenes to get put in. We've nearly finished the main quest 1 scenes now. There's only one more to do. Though one thing I think will be cool to do, or just to improve this Carol the Barrel scene here. We kind of mentioned that we'd do that this stream, so yeah, we'll spend some time thinking about that today as well. I'll give you guys the link to this particular page. It's Labour Day, no work. Yay, I'm a psychic. Less Labour Day, I'm not working. Yeah. I hope you guys have a nice chill Monday then. That's good. By the way, I turned 36 this past Saturday the 5th. Oh, happy birthday. Happy belated B-Day. How does it feel to be? I'm not going to say super old because I'm not much younger than you. So I've been sorting myself. So, well, I'm a bit younger than you. A fair bit younger. But not loads. Not super loads. Hey Rose. Hi Smilebrook. How are you doing? Welcome back to stream. It's good to see you. Hope you're having a good week. I say I hope you're having a good week, but the week's barely just started. I'm a silly Billy. Right, so where were we? Yeah, so guys, I won't be happy unless all these dialogue scenes, all of them, for main quest 1 and 2 are done by the end of stream, because I want everybody to have the opportunity to look through the ice trees, to get to like understand what's happened so far and stuff. It'll just help a bunch come Wednesday's brainstorm stream if we kind of know what it is that we're discussing properly. And also, I have updated the website just a little bit, not much. It's not very noticeable that there's a few changes. It's just a few little extra text things on the story section about the project. I feel great. I don't feel old. Yeah, age is nothing. Age is. I'm one of these people that don't believe that however old you are, that things should change in your life. Like some people think once you're older, you gotta be like a proper adult. You gotta be serious. You can't play video games anymore. You can't do this. You have to do this. You have to get a proper job. Yeah, and if you get to a certain age, you have to stop following your passion and all that kind of thing. It's all bonkers. I'm gonna be, like I said, an 80-year-old woman and doing this. I mean, Raindrop Chronicles itself might be over by the time I'm 80, but I still want to kind of be doing this sort of work. But who knows? Maybe we'll decide to have hundreds of Raindrop Chronicles episodes. We don't know. Well, some calendars start at Sunday, I believe. Where either way, I'm good and thanks. Welcome to Monday. Monday. It's called Monday now. Because it's the best day of the week. Because I stream. Something need to change. Can't be showing up to kindergarten when you're 32. Well, that's a bit extreme for sure. But it's fine to still enjoy young hobbies and try to, enjoy life and do things young people do when you're older. Getting more years on you doesn't mean you have to get old. Yeah, being old is boring. Screw being old. I'm going to be a child forever. It's just life. Yeah, life sucks. I mean, not life. Life is a great and beautiful thing. Society is what sucks. How they've made life be. Unless you work there, but our hobbies is our own version of kindergarten, I suppose. Maybe. I don't need to be an adult, I just can't be a kid anymore. Just getting out of kindergarten is kind of important, but there's so many online these days I've wondered about. I just because even though I'm in my 30s now, and whenever it is I'm in my 40s in a very long time, in the next decade, I'll not want to suddenly just think that's it now. I've got to be proper serious, and I've got to have a family, I've got to have babies, I've got to be a proper adult. Why should you? I want to carry on doing the things I love. Selfish person. Screw babies. I'm doing my project. Because I'd be a terrible mother. If the baby was crying, I'd just be at my computer neglecting them. So I'm not gonna do that. That would be terrible. I recently spoke to a man in his 70s, and he says he was still a kid and needed a place to play while referring to be part of the creative space for video recording and editing. I want babies. Yeah, and anybody that does, that's fine. Everybody should make their own choices in life for what they want to do and what they want to be. Absolutely how things should be. I'd be an amazing mama. I'm sure you would, Kendall. I think you would be. Most of us have a kid inside, and I don't mean being pregnant, yeah. I would be a terrible parent, yeah, would you, MT? Exactly, me too. You have to follow your own dream, not the dreams of others, and I'm with you on no kids, but I'm so happy that those that want to have them, yeah. And I think it's very important that the people that have children are the ones that genuinely want them, because there's far too many people in the world that have children that just neglect them and aren't good parents. And it's because society expects you to just have babies. That's what they're planning in your heads, that you have to have a baby when you get to a certain age. And it's well, not necessarily, because that person might not be suited to parenthood. Everybody's different. I spend all my time programming. Exactly, MT. I'm the same. I don't know. I'm too busy doing my thing for having a kid. I'm kind of fond of mine. Give me all the babies. No kids. And yeah, some people can change. I always thought when I was in my early 20s, I always thought that by the time I'm 30, I'd want to be a mom. I always thought that as I get older, that I'd want it. But now the time's come, I can honestly say it's not changed. And I think a lot of it depends on where you are in your life as well, and your stability, and that's important too. Can't just be popping them out when you've got no money. I changed. I didn't want kids until I was in my late 20s, yeah. It's very, very normal and common that people change their minds. I could be one of them, who knows, but it's definitely, I'm not there yet. I'm 35 now and I never changed. I didn't want to commit the time. Kids take a lot of devotion and a parent needs to be focused on them. I couldn't do it, and I'm glad I know it, yeah. Exactly, and I think it's very wise to realise that you don't at the time, because some people don't have the self-awareness to know that, and then it's too late. They've already had the kid and they're a terrible parent because they don't look after them properly. And never wanted, and I managed to get here without any. Yeah, for sure. I'm a believer that you can be happy without having children in your life. Live the life you want for you. From what I've seen, lots of parents either don't know how to be truly good parents or they shouldn't have had them in the first place, yet have 5 of them. Yeah, and that's when it's annoying. That is definitely irresponsible. It's like the kid across the road who just plays with his ball literally 24/7 since lockdown. He hasn't stopped. I'm surprised his arms haven't fallen off or the pavement's not broke because it's been constant. And I'm just like, poor kid, like, give him a blooming game console for crying out loud. Like, I would have hated that if I was a kid and all I got was a ball forever and nothing else. Raising kids is very hard. Yeah, I can imagine. And they can be very hard, like, naughty as well. You have to know how to handle all that. And get the balance right from not being too strict or not being too, like, much of a pushover either. Not all people like pizza either. Can you believe that? There's someone out there that wouldn't like pizza. The hardest and best thing ever for me, anyway. If I were to have a kid, I would want to do everything for them, be there 24 for overprotective. I just can't be that person. Yeah, I think it's good to have a bit of to not get too overprotective of your kids, because one day they're gonna live their own lives and you don't want to be that person that stops your kid doing something that they want to do either. So because they'll just resent you. So it's good to have a life outside your kid as well. I've heard that there's people that don't like cake. What? It's getting more crazy by the second. First pizza and now cake. I guess it depends what type of cake. Because there's some cakes I'm not mad about, but then there's other cakes I'm obsessed with. 24/7. I was going to say M-Tine. I was like, what's 24 for? Never heard that one before. They are probably pie people. Yeah, maybe. I'll have a kid when I'm financially ready and able to spend most of my time with them. Yeah, that sounds sensible, Kindled. You gotta be in the position. From the moment they're born, they try and separate from you. Yeah. I can imagine you're a good mom, Kung. I can imagine that. Right, so first of all, I'm going to just start getting in these scenes because I'd like to make sure they're all in. And if we get time before the end of stream, which I'm sure we will, we'll flesh out this scene with Carol, the third scene, a little bit more, as we said that we'd do. Because I've got some notes on that one from last time, so I've got a few ideas on where to take that one. Yeah, weekends off. You are so sweet. I just know I have a good feeling about people, and I just know you would be, Kung. In our society, everyone is overworked and underpaid, so they had their kids to a daycare and don't actually spend any time raising them. It's really sad to think about. See, what you've just said, Kindled, I agree with that completely, and that is a reason why I don't want kids, because I feel like if you're gonna have them, you've got to go all out. Not like just send them away so they're out of sight and you don't have to bother with them. Because if you're gonna have kids, you gotta be prepared, in my opinion, to do so much for them. It sucks. I feel so bad for those kids that don't get many nice things or don't get to spend much time with their parents and just get left. I mean, I was very lucky as a kid because my parents took me to a lot of places. We went to theme parks and we like travelled and did loads of fun things, and I got a games console when I was like 6 years old. So like, that was cool. I'm glad that I had a dad that got me a games console, even though I was a girl, because I didn't have brothers. It's not like it's because it was my brother's console. Like, it was just, I was the oldest and I had a younger sister. Right. So, yeah, this is the new one. I'm going to copy. Okay, here we are. This is the scene, the last scene of Main Quest 1 now. So I'm going to copy it and get it put in the new one. And don't forget, guys, this updates in real time. So as I add more scenes, it'll update and you'll get to see it. And a few of you last time checked for me, made sure that I couldn't be hacked. So yay. Can't be abused. No one can overwrite what I've done. For some reason it's deciding to be a butt face and not copy and paste this part. What is that? Copy. Copy. Yeah. I don't know what that. This is the link of the World Anvil that I gave you guys. For some reason, it's deciding it doesn't like copying today. We'll figure it out. Hi Marcus, how you doing? Welcome back to stream. It's good to see you. I hope you're having a wonderful day. As someone that worked inside daycare, you can enrol your child at 4 to 6 weeks, and they spend from 7 AM to 6 PM. That is way too long. And then they enrol in preschool for the same time, and they go to school 7 to 3, and after they go to an afternoon program, then they get into entire grades and do after school activities, and they graduate and move out. 7 AM to 6 AM. The problem is society's too work driven, so the kids' parents spend all time at work, and the kids never see the parents. That sucks. So I might refresh this and see if it works, because for some reason it really doesn't want to copy. Maybe if I refresh it, it'll work. We have a completely different system here. Yeah, you're in the States, aren't you, kindled? And Kung is in where in Europe is it that you are again, Kung? Because I know you're in EU. And generally Europe is much better run than the States, which is why I've sort of said, and Rex agrees, that we don't really want to be in the States forever because it's messed up. It's messed up in a lot of ways, but so long term we would like to be here in the UK. I'm good, thank you. Yeah, I'm glad to hear it, Marcus. Hope Monday's treating you well. The earliest you can leave is 1 year old. We managed our economy, survived our boys for over 2 years, and we worked 80%, both of us. Sweden, oh yes. See, I think Sweden's a great country. Some of those families are the only time they spend together is dinner and sleep. Yeah. As a child that grew up with my parents at home a lot, I feel very lucky because my mom didn't work for a lot of the time. It was mainly my dad that was the provider, and he run his own business, so he could pick his own hours. It was very flexible for him. So because of that, it's just much more nice. You remember your family growing up. Hello again. Hi Rav, how are you doing? It's good to see you. Canada, our system is okay. Yeah, Canada's another decent country. It's one of the better ones. I want to spend all my time with my kids actually raising them, supporting them and being there for them. Yeah, that's wonderful to hear, Kindled. When the day comes when you have a baby, you'll let us know. I'm sure you will. I leave my kids at 8:20 in the morning when school starts, and I get them between 15 and 16 o'clock. Yeah, that's nice. You get them and you pick them up from school. I think it's important that kids their life isn't driven by school, because some people have the opinions that school should be longer hours and all that, and no, it's absolutely fine as it is. I think homework should be banned as well, personally. Maybe some people will disagree with me there, but I just think it should be banned, because kids do enough work at school. The brain needs a break. Don't let them be workaholics too much. Now, maybe yes, it's worked now. It's because I refreshed it. So let's put it in the new flow. So anyone who's just popping in, oh gosh, I'm not getting this ordered. Anyone who's just popping in, what we're doing today, we're just getting some of our dialogue from, because we've done Main Quest 1 and 2. Main Quest 2 isn't 100% finished, we're still finalising the very last scene. But yes, we're basically there with Main Quest 1 and 2 in the game now. So, yeah, we don't want that. I'm messing it up. So I've recently decided to get all the dialogues as we do them together, as we write them together into our lore Bible, so that people can easily keep up, get more involved with the story, get to know the way the characters speak and all that kind of thing, and potentially give some thoughts, ideas, suggestions and all that on the characters and potential plot lines, or even if they feel like a dialogue line needs to be even better than it currently is. That sort of stuff. We've got a dialogue discussion channel in the Discord, so that'd be the perfect place. But if anyone wants to have a look, that's the link. Making sure that peeps know about this, because it's only last week when we started this little section of the Lore Bible. But I don't know if anyone's because I did say earlier that the website's had some updates, and I don't know if anyone's looked, out of curiosity, what those updates are. It's under the story section. It's just a couple of little things regarding the story that I'm trying to make sure keep the project running as smoothly as possible, and making it more exciting potentially as well. So I put those on the website, a couple of little extra lines underneath the story, so I just so folk know how things are going. But I'm going to discuss all that stuff more on Wednesday's stream, considering that it's going to be the story-based brainstorm stream, because it's all to do with that. I'm such a silly person. I enjoy doing homework with my eldest, have fun with it. No, that's lovely, Kung. I think the fact that you want to do homework with your kid just shows, that's a good thing, because it's a way for you and your child to bond as well. Not silly at all. I just have the opinion that, kids shouldn't be machines. We don't want them to be robots. They're at school all day, 5 days a week as it is. So coming back from school only to spend all night doing homework just seems a bit harsh. I think it'd get them more excited for school the next day if they didn't spend all night doing homework. But if there is going to be homework, that's the way to do it, Kung. From what I remember going before high school, you did each class you do set every day, you have 7 subjects homework. Yeah, that's how I remember it too. Every single subject gave you homework, and it's overwhelming because then you just have to spend your whole night doing homework. And It wouldn't be as bad if it was just one subject that gave you homework, but all 7? It's a lot. It's a lot of work. For me, it just generally seems that in Europe, it's a lot more laid back and less like rigid in regards to schooling. Though I feel like UK are going more the way of the US, unfortunately. Oh well. Yeah, I remember those days. Those dates are messed up, yeah. Let's hope things can go through a change. I always try to remain hopeful to stop myself turning into a massive... to stop myself feeling like too depressed over the world. So November's going to be a big one. It's the next the next election. So I'm hopeful that things can slowly get better. I think it'll take a long time though. But you never know. We need some good in the world now after everything that's happened this year. Okay, so this is scene 5. I'm gonna have to move this down a bit because it's a bit high. Sorry, scene 5, and this is in the cabin. So this is just before you complete main quest 1 and unlock the next quest. Burn everything down if he loses. Oh my god. Let's hope that it doesn't get to that. Indeed, November is going to be an interesting month. Yeah, and the one good thing about November is that Cyberpunk's coming out. So we've got some good things happening in November. I'm going to just escape the world with that. Play that game. Who else is going to be getting Cyberpunk here? Is anyone else interested in that game other than me? I know Kindled is. We read 2 pages every day, and then he has 1 math and 1 French homework per week. I think that's super sweet that you do the homework with him though, because there's too many kids that just get left to do the homework themselves, and that's really sad. Best thing about November, my B-day is the 6th. Also, it's now November. Oh yeah, the National Writing Month. Yeah, a lot of people get involved in that. Shame there's no writing category on Twitch, because I'd like to jump in and have a little peek of that. I'm not sure I'm gonna buy it, but I'll be watching Carnage play it. Oh, yeah, there'll be a lot of streamers playing that game, that's for sure. Curious about Cyberpunk, but not sure if I really care for it. Yeah, I think that I mean, for me, it's mainly because I really adore the dev team behind the game, so that is mainly the reason I'm interested in the game. Not so much the genre itself. I just have complete trust in the team, and I believe they'll make a great game. I'm going to delete the arrows because it's harder to move them into positions when they're there. Okay, so the hero sees pale dark-haired woman in a cage. The little sister follows him. So okay, so I'm going to change. I'm not going to call it little sister. I'm going to name her Fiona, which I did there. Because we are introduced to, we do know her name at this point. So Fiona follows the heroine's side. Writing on Twitch is pretty boring because it has to be quiet. Does it have to be quiet? Does it have to be quiet? Like, I'm one of these people, maybe I'm just a rebel, but I always think, you know, reinvent the rules, make your own rules, don't necessarily do things the way the norm is, create unique content. I get that you have to get down a lot of words, so it makes sense that you'd want focus, but I'm a very interactive person, so if I was going to do something like that, which I wouldn't because I'm busy doing this, but if I did, I'd kind of want to get the community involved, I guess, and make it more interactive. I like cutesy RPGs, cyberpunk, oh, it doesn't fit, and no, cyberpunk's the opposite of cutesy. But yeah, it's totally fun to love cutesy stuff as well. I like both personally. I like cute things and I like things with more serious themes. Depends what mood I'm in all honesty. Written on and off for over the years, but last year I did NaNoWriMo and got 18k words down. This year I aim to better and writing a prequel novel to what will hopefully one day be my game world. Oh, that's a lot of words. Congrats for that, brother. I guess you could play music to write, but it's so hard to focus and keep a story in your head moving forward if you're trying to chat at the same time. Yeah, like I've discovered, like I even messaged a friend on Twitter yesterday saying this exact thing, that doing creative work and streaming at the same time, especially if you have an active chat, it's almost impossible. Like I do very little actual game dev work on stream. Most of the game dev stuff I do is off stream on my days off. It's why I need 4 days a week off so I can actually have time to do the work, and why I only stream 3 days a week. Because if I streamed 6 or 7 days a week, folks, there would never be a game. All my life would be chatting to the community and not doing the actual game. It's just a hard thing to do. I commend anyone that can actually do both, but I am not a human being that can multitask that effectively. That's for sure. I used to write a lot, wanted to be a professional writer, but then my 20s happened and I stopped. Oh, really, Kung? That's really cool. What sort of stuff did you want to write, Kung? And what stopped your passion? What was the reason? I did all my poetry when I was a depressed teen. Yeah, the best art and the best poetry and the best song lyrics and music and writing and creative work in general all come from being depressed. And I feel all my favourite musicians, like, well, not all of them, but some of them, well, I'm really depressed, and that's why their music's good. I'm mostly amazed by people who hold that light alive. Oh, really, Kung? You gotta feed it. I joined a Discord for NaNoWriMo people near me in Atlanta. Oh, that's nice. Super active and help each other stay charged to do it. Just don't have any time on my days off. Have you prepared for your novel, like, in advance, Raver, or do you just do it all on the 1st of November? I'm wondering whether it's like if it would be breaking the rules to plan a bit ahead before you start. Try to code on stream as much as I can, but yeah, it's sometimes impossible because you get distracted a lot. My mods yell at me to get back to coding. They yell at you, my goodness. That is something I wouldn't allow. Like, for me, everybody's different now. Like, everybody has different sort of rapport and relationships with their community of mods, but I'm like, I would be frigging unmodding them if anyone said that to me. I'd be like, get out of here. I can be pretty mean. I can when I want to be. And yeah, I couldn't see getting much done on a stream unless you were really focused. But then if you are, you're not able to chat so much. Yeah, depends what you are as a streamer and what your sort of vibe is and how you want, what sort of stream you want to be. Because for me, I've always, I value interaction. It's about chatting to me and all of that stuff. I'm never going to be that streamer that just sits there. So I would sacrifice getting the work done personally for me for the chatting. But I totally get that some people have like day jobs and they've got no time other than stream to do the work. So in regards to that, I suppose you've got no choice. It makes it really tough. This year I'm preparing in October. Oh, thanks for the link, Rav. Feel free to post that in the Discord too if you want other folk to see. They actually starts off in September, but I don't have the time. I'd have to plan ahead because I wouldn't have a clue what I was doing if I waited till November. I'd have 0 words done. But I don't know if I'm like made for NaNoWriMo because I'm slow. I'm one of these slow people that take my sweet time. So I think by the end of the month I'd like have 100 words or just something like that. I'd be terrible. Because that's the way I work. The link above explains a lot of what you should do. Oh, that's the actual rules. Cool. I'll save that one. So I always wondered. I always thought, oh, are you allowed to prepare ahead, or is that a bad rule? Is that banned? Writing is the creative field I struggle most with. Yeah, I think it's. You can be surprised what you can learn if you read a lot or you consume a lot of stories. You getting inspired that way can teach you a lot about how to write well. And to be honest, I mean, my opinion, I don't know if you guys are with me on this, but you don't have to be the best writer. You don't have to like write words perfectly and have all this lovely prose. Just like if there's something, if you can create a good story and all those little elements, like make it intriguing, have tension in all the right parts and have the right pacing, that can just go a long way, even if it's a little bit rough around the edges. Because I personally wouldn't be into it if the prose was beautifully written but it was dead boring. I wouldn't be interested. I'd take the exciting adventure over the beautiful written prose. The first 2 days were hard for me, but then it flowed. Some nights I could write for 4 hours non-stop, but other days I could hardly get 100 words down. Yeah. And it's pressure as well, because come November you feel like, oh my god, you've got to do it now. I'd feel pressure. There's a lot of books I want to get, but it's expensive, so I read webcomics currently. Oh, they're good. I don't get time to read many webcomics, but there's a lot of fun ones that I see. Something in the NaNoWriMo people taught me is that you have to find the flow. Sometimes it just comes to you and you just put it all down like a big brain dump. Yeah, and I think you gotta just not care if it's terrible or just really rough around the edges. You just have to get it down, because the minute you start worrying and thinking, oh, is this written badly, you just won't get anything down. Their chant was December is for editing. That's a good way to view it, really. Look for the polishing afterwards. I don't think I'd get it done if I didn't have a story prepared. I'd stop in the middle. Yeah, I'd stop at the beginning, Kung. I'd have to prepare, because I'd have writer's block otherwise. And the pressure would make me crack. I do better when there's not deadlines, personally. I say that, but yet the other week when we had the picture game, we had a deadline, and I was a little bit panicky, I must admit. I was like, oh my god, we're not going to get this trailer done. But I did it. I actually managed to finish it, so... it's draining, especially if you're working on other things going on. Takes a lot and hurts if people think it's trash. Yeah, that's another thing I've noticed since online has become a big thing in the last 10 years or so. If you put your work out there, you gotta be prepared for it to get torn apart by trolls, because there'll always be haters. Haters are always going to exist, even if what you are doing is actually brilliant, or there'll always be somebody that decides that they want to be a douche. And yeah, it would be draining, I agree, and that's why I wouldn't be able to do NaNoWriMo unless there was nothing else going on in my life. I'd have to literally dedicate the whole month to nothing but that. Otherwise there's no way I'd do it. So anyone that manages to do NaNoWriMo and has other stuff going on, they're a hero, in all honesty. Okay, so I put this yellow box to show the difference, because to split the two branches, because in the previous scene you had the option to push the girl in the lake, so it kind of branches off depending on whether you did that or not. But I'm trying to make the boxes tidy and organised, especially because this is going on the Law Bible now. Be a bit more fussy. It's gotta look good for you all. I told all my life that I had a talent and should pursue it, but then someone cries to me, critique me harshly. That's when I stopped. Oh no, Kung. See, I totally understand that, because I used to be the same. If someone would say something bad, I feel it would make me lose my confidence, and I think it was rubbish. But I've learned a lot. I've kind of educated myself that there'll always be people like that, and that sucks. That person shouldn't have had that power, And whoever they are, I want to punch them in the face for Kung. Because I bet, you never know, everybody's got their own reasons for why they want to be mean. I mean, some people do it without realising they're hurting your feelings. There's always that too. Sometimes people say something harsh and they haven't even realised that it's hurtful, so they might have not meant it. But then there's people who do it on purpose, because for all sorts of reasons, and it could be because they're just jealous of you. Not because it's true that it was bad. Because, like you say, if you were actually good at it and people told you that, probably wasn't bad. Just remember, talent does not equal success, perseverance does. Yes, I butchered that word once again. I butcher every word. But I think that's spot on, Rav. There's so many people out there who are literally got so much talent, but they just don't have the determination and they don't stick with it, and then that's it ends for them. I'll do the arrows at the end. Also, I'm changing that to Fiona, not little sister. Okay, so watch out, that creature in the cage is is dangerous, and if you're pushed in the lake, she'll say, "Jerk, how dare you." I'm using squared brackets for actions now. I think they look a bit tidier. So yeah, she just got more of an attitude with you if you pushed her in the lake, and she will like sort of look wet as well, like she has been in the lake. Yeah, thank you, we're all good now. It's more the other person's personality, I've realised that, yeah. And it can suck, because what you want in your life is like words of encouragement and belief, not not negativity. I feel that anyway. That's what I want for me. I think it can change, like just the good vibes can make a whole lot of difference in your productivity, your motivation, and your confidence in yourself. Yeah, the way the arrows were before are a little bit messy, so why they said Fiona, because that's Rose. But see, this is what I must have brain melt today, because I'm typing in the wrong names now. To be honest, I understand why I'm a little bit, my brain's a bit mushy today. I did have to get up early today because a random man came in my room. Yeah, I know. So I had to make sure I was awake early so I could get out. He was here to like inspect the house because of us wanting to sell up, so he has to put a price on it. Oh well. Yeah, I said that on purpose so you guys would freak out. I did it on purpose and you all fell for it. It could have been their taste too, they just don't understand your vision. Yeah. And I think you gotta, if you want to be critiqued, I think criticism, being critiqued, all that is absolutely fine if the person's asked for it. But at the same time, you know, people have to have some social tact with how they express things, because people have feelings. I struggle most with dedicating time to active my hobbies. I hope you find some time for Unkindled, because you know, we all need that time for for the loved things in our life, the things we love. LOL, one drop. One more to grow into a torrent. Yeah, you're nearly in the top 100. That's pretty impressive. You've been lurking super loads to do that. I'm good at the story of my life. I was so confused. But you thought I meant like someone had come to rob us or something. Luckily not. I'm always good with critique. As a developer, I have plenty of people that code is SHIT. It doesn't faze me anymore because but it works, yeah. Yeah. See, that's good. I think it's good that you can handle that, because I personally can't. If anyone said that to me, they'd be banned and out the stream. And it's just because simply it's my choice to do that. If someone else doesn't mind, then that's cool too. But I just like to be, it doesn't do me good to have that sort of talk said to me at all. So Probably banned someone doing the started crap in my stream. Yeah, I'm very strict in regards to what I allow in the community. Hardest part of starting something new is constantly criticising myself. I practice drawing and all I can think of is that it's garbage and terrible. Yeah. You know, my opinion in regards to things like that is that everything's, you know, we're all going to be noobs when we first try something. We're not going to be an amazing artist or amazing writer, etc. overnight. It's something with practice and experience you'll get better at. So yeah, sometimes you got to just tell yourself that it's all about the mindset. You got to train your mindset to be kinder to yourself. Anyone have any advice for getting over that? I hope mine helps somewhat. I mean, I've got a friend, well, they're not really my friend, they're a friend of a friend, who has just started doing art in the last year. And on their Twitter, they've been posting their art, and it's like very like, you know, stick men sort of thing. It's very beginner stuff. But they're doing that now so they can eventually see the difference as they improve and like look at where they are a year down the road compared to now. And I think that's a pretty good idea. Yeah, wake up in the mornings, look in the mirror, talk to yourself, learn to tell yourself that you're good as you are and think that what you do only needs to be good enough for you. Screw off. I think, yeah, some self-talk, some self-love. Tell yourself you're awesome. Good things grow from it. Good idea. Hi Calamity, how you doing? It's good to see you. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Cripples you into action and then perhaps get some counselling, confidence coaching. Realise that everyone is a noob at the start and takes a while to get good. Exactly, Binary. I used to be a lot more not as confident as I am now. I got bullied at school, wasn't a cool kid, got told I wasn't very good a lot of the time by people. I was never one of the kids that was the best at school, far from it, so I always felt not good enough and compared to others. But that was then. You can come a long way in your adulthood if you just change your mindset and your way of thinking. Do you have any posts on Twitter? Just keep posting, yeah. We believe in you, Kindled. Torrent time, yeah. And you'll be a wave soon. Then you'll be a Leviathan. I'm not even a Leviathan yet. Got bullied plenty be wearing glasses since I was 8, so year 4 eyes was a thing for many years. It's so weird, isn't it? Like, I didn't wear glasses at school because it was only in my late teens when I became short-sighted. When I was at school, it was about me being like super pale and stuff. That was the reason they had to point out that I was like really like pale skinned, and it was like, I look back at that now and I'm like, but being pale's like frigging awesome, you big idiot. Like, what's wrong with being pale? Pale is amazing. I'm an awesome vampire. I mean, what is it with society that you have to be tan to be like? Why is there all these rules on what you've got to look like and what looks good? It's so lame. Silly. Over it, just a vague memory now. Pale skin is awesome, but my tan is cool. Yeah, everybody is good. Like, whatever your skin colour, whatever you wear, whatever your hair is, whatever, it's... People just, stupid bullies. I'm like, why? Just why? They must have just been really sad kids. Must have been like really depressed or something and just wanted to take it out on others. post them to Rain's Discord, we'll give you encouragement. Yeah, we have a creative channel, put your stuff in there and everyone will give you the encouragement. Everyone's skin is beautiful, no skin is better than the other, exactly. So people being like, oh, you're pale, oh, you're this, you're that, it's just lame. Ever watched Scrubs? No, I've never seen that one. I know the show though, but I've never actually watched it. In all shapes and forms, yeah. My job, programming teacher told me not to take a job as a programmer. The first job I took after my IT studies was a programming job. Oh my goodness. You know, teachers like that are really lame. Like, they feel like they have to put the kid down and be like, you're not good enough and you'll never be successful at this. And that is a terrible teacher. So you've got to kind of tell the kid they can do whatever they want. Where's that box gone? I must have not copied that box over. I'll have to copy and paste that one again. So if you didn't push her in the lake. Okay, so if I do refresh this now, the updated version should be there. It is. As you can see, we've got all 5 scenes in there now. And if anyone wants to see the Law Bible in general, here's the link. So yeah, the scenes are in Quest 1, sorry. They're not super long, but Quest 2 has some quite long scenes. So they might take some time to put them out. I don't know if I'm going to get them all in this stream now. I really wanted to get them in because I'd love you guys to be all caught up with all the conversations in the game so far before we have the brainstorm stream, but it's not really a massive deal if we don't. I mean, we do have the scenes in here, so in Quest 2, so if anyone's really curious, you can always head over to the scene discussion channel and look. Yeah, if anyone's interested in nano-immersive, should start now. I poo. And anybody who's doing it, yeah, pop your stuff in creative work. The creative work channel is for anything creative, not necessarily just art or game dev. Writing, cosplay, all of the stuff. So I'm resizing the boxes. If you're wondering why I'm doing all that, it's because I'm trying to make them the same size as like the grid. Now, I never did these boxes with the grid properly before, and I think it made it really hard to keep looking nice. And so I'm being a little bit more organised about it now. I'm doing it again. I wish I had more hours in my days. Yeah, so you got a busy day job then, Rav? Is that the time, Hogger? So how did I set up these optional questions now? Because I redesigned how they looked. I think all I did was... yeah, that's how I did it. Put the purple there. Why is she dangerous and what is the monster? Are they the only two ones? And as for the optional questions, like, we might change those and add more information and more foreshadowing and clues and all that kind of stuff when we've done more playable builds for episode 1, because at the moment there's still a lot of developing and filling in the missing pieces and character arcs to do. So we're kind of just keeping it sort of basic right now, but I think that can have potential to be expanded in the future for both scenes, this one and the Nigel one. I work from home, but yeah, I do web devs 9 to 6 every day. Oh yes, that would take your time because you've only got your evenings then, haven't you? Weekends are being taken by my girlfriend and D&D. Yeah, so that makes only your weekday evenings then. I'm planning a new D&D campaign. Oh, exciting. Super fun. I'm doing better though. Trying to get a hard schedule set so I do some things done, just not as much as I want to. I know I remember the time it used to be like that for me, Rav, because it was back in 2015 before I was a streamer. I worked like normal 9 to 5 every day, and I was actually working on a project at that time too, and I was frustrated because I wanted to do the project, and I just did it every second I could when I got home. It just made me even more passionate about it to try and fit in time, but it was extremely tiring. Yeah. You don't have any DM experience, but you want to. Being a DM is, honestly, that is an achievement in itself, because that for me would be a super intimidating thing to be, but it's because I'm a noob when it comes to D&D. I've only ever been in one campaign before. If I had more experience and understanding of it, then maybe I'd be better and less scared. I have some time on the weekend since she's also learning web dev, so as long as I can beat my PC, I can work on projects. Oh, okay, that's nice. And that's cool that like she does a similar thing as what you do and that. I think it's a good thing if you can be with someone that understands your hobbies and passions and like gives you space to do them. It just gets frustrating otherwise if you're with someone that wants to be with you 24/7. But I would say that because I'm a massive introvert, I need my alone recharge time. Some people that young, I can't even read today. In some way that young people are lazy, you were very active. So if you don't mind me asking, do you work now or do you stream full time? And does it cover you financially? That is actually on our FAQ page on the website. I've actually gone kind of into a bit of detail on there about how the project's funded and what I'm doing and all that. So if you want to go on there, anyone can see. But just to summarise it, I do this full time. Twitch is my sole income, which is not a lot, of course, because I'm no big streamer. But I don't have to pay bills right now. I live off nothing, basically. I'm able to live this lifestyle right now for the time being. I'm sacrificing a very lavish lifestyle for the sake of passion, I guess, in pursuing my dreams. Typical starving creative sort of person, I guess. That's what I am. Only to end once being a player for 10 years. Got a great group we do online. Oh, for 10 years? That's a long time. Roll20 and get your players on video chat makes it a lot more fun. I feel like a starving creative, lol. Starving artist for sure. That's my trope, guys. If I'm any trope, that's one of my tropes anyway. What trope are you guys? What are you, chat? Because I'm a bit of a nerd for tropes. Have to admit. I bought a house, but that mortgage ain't gonna pay for itself. Yeah, for sure. It feels like these days you either have to, choose between having lots of money and being able to pay your way easily, but not follow your passion, or the other one, follow your passion but have no money. Because there's rarely time to do both. And for anyone that does do that, my goodness, I'd want to know their skills, how they manage their time and how often they sleep. What did... So we need a dialogue option for if we don't ask the question, which we didn't do last time. Okay, so what is it that we say? You're probably right, keeping it here may be a no danger that if I could say rest the heart of the ever-burning virus and feed it to the master living now you get a big reward. Something like that. Jack of all trades, that's your trope, Rav. It's a good one. Nerdy scientist since I work in a lab and love gaming, but I'm not a scientist. That's an amazing trope, nerdy scientist. How cool. What to use in them? I've had a bachelor's in biochemistry and used since 2004. My goodness. You guys are like pretty awesome. I've always loved science, biology, chemistry, just didn't go that route. Analyse hospital tests, magister in biomedicine. You guys are brain boxes. Passionate but lazy is my trope. Passionate but lazy. Being lazy is like a weird taboo in society. Like, I think there's nothing wrong with sitting on your butt, in all honesty. What has made people think you gotta be some slave to the world? I don't know. But, just live the life you want to live, right? That's what I think. But I believe in you, Kindled. You've got a passion, and I believe that you can do it. I used to work in analysing samples, but I'm now in immunology. My goodness. If I was in a lab, I'd probably drop everything. So don't trust me doing that. I admire that you can. Okay, so let me just... Okay, I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else we need to do for that. So I'm going to just change the little sister to Fiona, because we used to not call her by her name because we hadn't introduced her at the time. But then we decided to give her name. Yes, so we know that she's Fiona now. I'm going to put a trivia question in chat soon, by the way, folks, because we haven't had one today yet. So I think we should have one. So be prepared to get those points, because it's just sort of, you know, it's close to the beginning of the month. There's not really a clear winner so far on the trivia, so now is the chance to climb up that leaderboard. Van is here. He prepared. Well, I already predicted Van will get it again next month, but like I say, I always like being proved wrong. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy Fiona's sprite, because one thing I do like to do, which we didn't do on the old version, is show who's speaking. I love that little visual sort of indicator. As someone who remembers faces over names, I personally like to see who's talking, because otherwise I'm like, well, who's Fiona? And I'm the creator. Okay, now I've just got to link the arrows up then. We can start the main quest Tuesday, finally. It's been a bit of a slow one, but you know, that's how it goes. And I'm not going to complain ever, because I love chatty streams. I was thinking of where to put the arrows, really. Hey, I've put Fiona sprite by Rose. What a silly billy I am. So we need Rose sprite. And this is pretty easy to do, in all honesty. True Baldy. 9 months. That is 3/4 of a year.
9 months already.
True Baldy. Thank you so much for that sub. Being super supportive and awesome. Let's have some hype in chat. I want to see that hype for True Baldy. How are you doing, True Baldy? How's your day going? Twitch baby. It's a Twitch baby as well. How could I forget? We were talking about babies earlier as well. Thank you for the hype, folks. I'm gonna get that trivia in chat. So be prepared. Let's hope it's an easy question for you all. I need to get some more questions in our Law Bible, by the way. I'd be happy to take requests if anybody's got any suggestions for questions. Like if you look through the Law Bible, feel free to say. I'll put them in. Oh, nobody's going to know this. I mean, we're totally not doing a dialogue stream right now that reveals it somewhere on this page. How are you, Rose? How are you doing, True Baldy? I'm doing all right. I'm excited for Wednesday's stream, because it's going to be a special stream. I should really make an announcement on the Discord about that. Important news, because I actually haven't said, so I want folk to know, because they'll miss the chance if they don't come on Wednesday to do some story writing and all that cool stuff. Flesh bags, you got it. I was slow too. Yeah, somebody could have easily got in there first van that time. But you managed to do it. Hi Neffel. How you doing, Neffel? There we go. Oh yeah, we were going to do Rose's sprite. Okay, so that's easy. It'll take me a few seconds. Crud, missed it. Oh my gosh, True Baldy, you need in the top 50. Oh my gosh. It's a big deal to be in the top 50. Here she is. Oh no, wrong one. There. Also, we don't know that she's called Rose yet, so we'll just call her. What we do from that point. Okay. Actually, I don't know if I should put the line there. Yeah, if you got 1,000 raindrops, guys, you were free to fill in that form on the website. At the moment, playable characters are closed, and it's just NPCs. Playable characters are more limited, so it's gonna be opened again January next year, but with limited slots and a higher raindrop requirement. Everything's on the website, guys. It's like an information hub now. The website is on everything. But I am intending to add a few more things eventually to the site, but it's not priority right now because we got lots to do. We got a first playable build to get done as well, and that's definitely priority. But I'm not sure I want to bring down the whole game with my character. Never, True Baldy, never. You can only bring it up. Yeah, only bring it some extra flavour. Oh, these aren't centered, that's why the arrows are weird. There we go. Okay, I remember how this went. I'm trying to remember how it worked. Yeah, this one's a bit of a tricky one because trying to think of how to do that. I'll do. I've got to go to both. Yeah, I think that's fine. Come on, I put too many arrows there actually, but it doesn't matter. Nope, that's perfect. I'm sorry for that, my keyboard just went crazy for a second. Yeah, I thought you were talking to us about the year that, you know, that Raindrop Chronicles will finally get released. The year 23 to can't even say the year it's that far into the future. 23 2000, I guess that's what they'd call it, right? Okay, I think that's it. I mean, it might not be 100%. Some of the arrows might not be exactly how they are, but that'll do. That would do, and it's main quest 1, it's done, and it should have all saved, so... there we go, it's in. Right, let me just have a look at this. I'm having a think. Yeah, so scene 5 is the first time that we can see yellow bits, which means it's the first time that your actions and your choices have started to have consequences because you gain some branches, but really it changes nothing right now except the difference in dialogue and how she behaves towards you. She's got just more of an attitude, but that will probably have more of a real impact later on because her attitude will still stay that way to you when you meet her again later in Nightfall, and it can have an impact on the future main quest and a side quest maybe. Okay, so we should move on to the next scene. I mean, we can think about Carol's scene. I wouldn't I would like to do Carol's. I mean, we do have a lot of flows to still get in for main quest 2 though. It's quite a very meaty quest, main quest 2 is. A lot of long scenes. I feel like it's triple what main quest 1 is. Maybe even more, to be honest. It's like, it's definitely so. Right, I think, one thing I thought, let's just look at our tile map because I was thinking about something actually. Also, this is, I was in the middle of doing the weapon shop. I'm also thinking about having some interior lighting where the doors are open and like just to show a little bit of light coming in. I think that'd be a nice effect, both at this door and the bottom here, because this door here is open, so it would only make sense, and maybe coming through the windows as well. So that's what I'm working on. Also, I'm putting the weapons on the walls, the actual ones that are sold in the store. I'm trying to be more realistic about that. But I will be getting interiors done, but I'm not prioritising the interior design work at the moment just yet, because I'd rather get the scenes in, and also make sure we're well prepared for Wednesday's stream with the brainstorm. In the year 23200, the ongoing project of Raindrop Chronicles is a smash hit among hundreds of alien populations, authored by the immortal game developer known as Rage Rainblood, who has knowledge of things such as earth, plants and human, excites the imaginations across galaxies. I love it. What an introduction, National. How are you doing today? My gosh, I'm an immortal, if only. If I was, then I can tell you right now, Raindrop Chronicles would have a bazillion episodes. But yeah, that would be epic. That just sounds super epic. If only that was the reality. Also, right, so I'm trying to think of how this scene's going to unfold. So we all know, if we've been keeping up with the project, that we meet Carol in this spot right here. So and then, you know, she just turns into a normal barrel after that. So when she gets triggered at the moment that she decides to catch up with the hero, we have to make sure it's at a moment where that barrel, you know, realistically it's nowhere to be seen and it's believable that she could have caught up with her. So that's why I was thinking that this long bridge here would probably be best, because if we was walking down here and Carol appeared out the blue, it's probably easiest on us to do it like that rather than have her come here and have to see her walking all the way down. And the reason for that is it's a bit complicated too, because if there's human NPCs walking around Lakefall, she doesn't really want people to know she's a living barrel. She's not shy about it, but at the same time she's not going to make it obvious that she's a living barrel, especially as the NPCs in Lakefall are a little bit wary of living sentient objects as well. So we don't want to have to make it hard for ourselves, so I think it will just be easier to, like this part, imagine that's what it looks like, the scene. The hero's in the middle of the bridge, Carol's like, oh, fleshbog way up, and then hops down. I mean, in fact, it might make more sense to do it more here outside of Lakefall rather than in Lakefall, because there'll still be NPCs maybe round here walking, and we don't want them to be witnesses to this scene. I mean, it was very different to the scene here because it was all happening behind a building, so it's not like there was onlookers, it was all like closed, like away from everybody. But Carol being in the open, I'm not sure she'd be like willing to so obviously be speaking as a human barrel in front of everyone. Not right now anyway. She'll freeze and blend in with the environment. Have a good day, gotta run out, have a good stream. Take care, Raven, thanks for the chats. Good luck with the NaNoWriMo, though it's still a while away yet. But good luck with all your project work. How's it been today so far? Not bad, National. I'm trying to prioritise getting the dialogue trees into the Law Bible for everybody under the story so far section, because I want everybody to, you know, be able to see all that on Wednesday when we start stream. But it's not super important today because a lot of what we'll talk about will be unrelated to that anyway. But it's still nice to get it in. It'll be nice to get it all in. She'll freeze and blend in with the environment. Yeah, so I'm figuring she'll be the point when we walk past the waterfall. Could be when she's like, okay, you're not going anywhere, Mr. Hero. You're coming with me. I'm coming with you. So that will be it. And then the next thing, now this is a little bit more complicated, because if we look at our conversation with Carol the Barrel here, we've done it so, you know, it's a super short scene, but after the first battle is when we trigger a scene where she's going to decide to be our inventory. But because of we got to be careful, because if we the player could always walk right past an enemy, so we'd have to make it a forced battle, which is something I'm not a fan of personally. I don't like completely forced battles. I know if it's part of a scene then it's different because it was part of the scene, but when you're walking in the open it can feel a bit forced. So I was thinking maybe we should have one of the toxic plants walking across the bridge here, because then you are forced to go in the battle, but in a way where it's not obvious. So if we had like the enemy like walking up here, then you'd have to run into it, and then after that battle, that's when the conversation can all take place. Because if we don't have the toxic plant walking across the bridge, the first enemy of the game, if we have him here instead like we did before, the player could just like walk past and like avoid every single enemy. And then we never get the scene where Carol offers to be our inventory until they finally do decide to trigger a battle. And that could like mess things up for us a bit, because then we'd have to like, you know, it's just a bit confusing. So we will, I'm thinking to make it easy on ourselves, probably trigger it here. So we don't have to do the actual scene of that today, but I just wanted to at least picture how it would work, so that we're at least planned. So, but we can get some of the dialogue done. Are you crashing on me again, Chrome? No, it isn't. It's because I've got tiled in the way. That's why. There we go. So yeah. So we do have it as the hero leaves Lakefall. So yeah, technically when he crosses the bridge and crosses the waterfall, should I say, that will be the moment. After hero wins the first battle. Okay, so I took some notes that you guys said. I thought it was a good idea that you know, the hero, there's a particular item that drops in that battle that triggers this particular conversation and triggers her to offer to be the inventory, and like having the hero, having whatever item dropped on the floor, whether it's the plant's fang or the plant's leaf, it could be one or the other, because we got to think what the plant would drop here, and we know he's got some leaves and he's got like some plant fangs, so it could be one or the other, the loot that drops in that battle. And whatever it is, whether it's the leaf or the fang, it could be on the floor or something in a cutscene after that battle when you've killed it. And the hero, like, doesn't know where to put it or something. And maybe he drops it or something. I remember that being suggested, and Carol just like starts being, you know, her Carol-like self. We want to have an opportunity to show off Carol's personality here. I think the problem with what it was like before was that she was too willing. There was no like grumpiness or hesitation from her. She was all just like, oh, I'll be your inventory. It was just like super, very nice, very weird for the moody Carol that we first encountered. So I think obviously we want the ending of the scene to be that. We want it to be like, yeah, I'll be your inventory and all that sort of thing, but we have to see more development to that point. So what if it's a hero dialogue choice? Pretty barrel, hold this stuff for me. Or, hey, if we're journeying together, would you let me store stuff in you? That's actually interesting, National. I was thinking of that actually, like, because what we haven't had so far is we haven't had a choice so far, have we? We have had optional questions in the inn with Nigel, but we've not experienced an actual hero choice that affects, if we're looking at the dialogue we got so far, the first time we have that is when we push Fiona in the lake. So I think it would make a lot of sense and be quite a cool thing to have a hero choice in this Carol scene, because we need to develop that relationship with Carol, right? She's key. So we gotta sort of show, the choices. Carol's the first one we ever get to have a choice with. And maybe one of those choices could give a romance point. You know, the first romance point. Hi, Coda, how you doing? It's good to see you. So I think if we was going to go for having a hero choice in this scene, it should maybe come more towards the end of the scene. We'll have a little bit of Carol banter first, and then the choice can come after that, maybe. So we'll see what we can do here to fit it in. So what we could have is after hero wins first battle. Okay, so what we're gonna do is just flesh out this scene a bit more, and then we can get the rest of the dialogues in for main quest 2. And folks, if you want to see them, they're right here. The section of the Lore Bible now, the main quest 1 section, which is under story in the codex. You'll see dialogue trees, and we'll be adding the same to the next quest as well. We'll be adding the dialogue tree to that one. I wanted to do it today. We might be able to do some of it today. But for everyone who's here, Wednesday is going to be an awesome stream, everybody. It's going to not be one that you'll want to miss, because we're going to be actually talking about stuff story-wise that's going to happen for the rest of the episode, like the themes and story elements that will be covered, character development with NPCs, potential arcs they'd have, how they can link in with side quests, what type of side quests we can have story-wise, all of that sort of discussion. We might even discuss what's going to happen a little bit next in main quest 3 as well, because it's main quest 3 and all the side quests, they're all together, they're all part of each other. And it's going to be fun. I'm excited. I'm gonna plan a little bit, because I want to have some ideas for us to go off We don't want to have a complete blank canvas. But I'm gonna like also see it as something where we can all like bounce ideas off each other. Like I'll have a starting point for us, but we'll go from there and just like expand from it all. Every stream with you is awesome. Oh, thank you, sort of. That means a lot. It's nice to have the kind words. It's nice to have kind words. So the hero wins. Instead of saying wins first battle, because we're going to actually sort of cleverly, purposely make it be the toxic plant. He's got to fight it. So the hero kills a toxic plant. Because that's what the enemy is. If that's like the first ever enemy we decide in the game. So that is basically the first one you're going to encounter. We don't know whether it's going to be called a toxic plant for good. We might want to give it a more interesting name, like one that isn't super generic. Because we had this discussion a few streams back. We said that, you know, creature lore is super cool, a super cool thing. Giving like monsters their own cool, badass, unique lore sort of names related to the game is a fun thing to do. So we could always get super creative here, think of cool names for the toxic plant. In fact, I'm going to open him up in Photoshop so you all actually know what he looks like. I mean, I could always add him to the flow diagram, but for now I'll just open him up in Photoshop. So here it is. So yeah, toxic plant is its name so far, which is generic to me. I think we can call it something more cool that is obviously linked to the fact it's a toxic plant, but something that's just more not so generic. But yes, he has, or she, or it, we don't know what the plant is. In regards to loot, I mean, we haven't had much item discussion or loot discussion streams yet, so we're not going to get too into this, but for the sake of this scene, there does need to be a piece of loot that he drops. So it'll either be a fang or a leaf, I'm assuming. Those are the things that stick out to me. And we'll have a crafting system in the game where you can make things from these cool little individual loot items, like accessories perhaps. National mentioned a fang necklace, and that was pretty cool, I thought. If there was a fang necklace you could craft from this thing eventually, but you'd need other items as well to make that fang necklace, of course. Something like a string around the neck. So yes, whichever we go for, whether it's the fang or the leaf, that'll be what drops. So the hero kills a toxic plant and tries to pick up a leaf fang from the ground. So I'd have to do some sort of animation. I mean, I'll try and simplify it as much as possible. But basically we just need to sort of get across that he's trying to pick up this item that dropped from the ground, and Carol's going to be like... She's going to be like... Okay, where's my notes? We might even add here. Tries to pick up a fang leaf from the ground. Succeeds. But then drops it. That's pretty easy for me to pull off, I think, animation wise. I'm trying to make sure I don't like go too like all out with this. I'm trying to think simply, because the thing with our hero is, which we got to remember, there are hundreds of assets, hundreds of possible asset combinations, so we can't get complicated with the hero's animation like we can with Rose or any of the other characters in the game. So it'll have to be simple, that doesn't really change their body movements too much, but I'm sure we can pull it off. The toxic plant is just belittling your character the whole time. What if it's the poison of the plant and the player couldn't carry that around normally, but it's rather valuable or useful? That's an interesting poison, because there is a skill that he uses the poison, just so that he can do that. The only thing I'm thinking with poison is he'd have to have some sort of container to hold that, because he wouldn't want it loose in his hands, would it? Because it would like go through him, and it would be a bit painful. And it could you'd want that sort of container to keep that poison locked up. So I try to think from a realistic point of view, because I know with some games the drops can be a bit random and unexpected compared to what the monster is. So trying to challenge myself to think that this is something that would drop, which the poison would. But the leaf and fang seem the most simple to go from here, but I do think there's a potential there for poison as an item. If we ever wanted to go there with a particular item, then it would be the toxic plant that would be that one. Poison seeds. Yeah, and that's another one too. I mean, if you ever have any item ideas, especially with what their function is, what that item does, feel free to pop them in the ideas discussion channel as well, because that item stream will come one day, and it'll be cool to have a look at all the actual ideas that we've got when that time comes. Okay, so the hero kills a toxic plant and tries to pick up a leaf from the ground. I haven't decided whether it's going to be a leaf or fang yet, so I've just put both. But succeeds, but then drops in. Carol would this is a real moment here to really once again show off Carol's frustrated personality and how she gets really hot and bothered and aggressive. And I think that's something we need to continuously do. With Carol, she's not 90% of the time she's gonna just be this angry woman, Carol is, with most of her dialogue, and the other 10% of the time you'll see glimmers of hope with her, where she says something and you're like, hang on, does she actually like me? So but we need to try our hardest to keep up that angry personality shining through, because then when she does have those moments of affection that are few and far between, it really makes more impact then when we've seen her be so angry most of the time or annoyed most of the time, because it's just more powerful, because we've seen her be this, and it's oh wow, she's actually being nice for once, this is nice. The whole plant could be poisonous, from the leaf to the teeth to the stem, but that would make the inside of Carol be full of poisons. Oh my goodness, see, this is this sort of lore, thinking deep, it's very interesting. It brings up the questions. Would a poison affect barrels as well? Maybe Carol's immune to poison that a human wouldn't be. Imagine if this might be going a bit too nice for Carol right now, but if the hero picked up poison and was ow, and really got sore by it, and Carol was I'll save you, put the poison inside me, because I don't get hurt by it, and she's protecting the hero. That would be super sweet, but maybe it's too soon to make Carol that affectionate right now, because she's still really peed off at the hero at this point in time, and she's not his biggest fan. The only reason she's wanting to stick along with the hero and come on the journey at this point is because she thinks he's going to be useful to her, because she has a family to save and she needs some sort of assistance. She thinks an adventurer, a fighter, will take her a long way in finding her family. But you know, that was an interesting idea that sprung to mind. Okay, so what are Carol's, let's just review Carol's like exclamations and cuss words for a sec, because they are somewhere here. I don't think they're on this section. Okay, so we've got get out, guys, wait up, listen up, oi, oh, hush. So she uses very short, snappy words, very blunt. So I think Van suggested some dialogue which I liked. Like, it's pretty Carol. Oh. I was going to say oh dear for this, but dear is a term of endearment and affection, so I don't know about that one. We could just have oh, you are hopeless. That's short and simple. And I could imagine her doing her little jump. Oh, you are hopeless. But I am thinking of still having that line of dialogue from last time put in here that you liked, National. Once after the choice, when the hero asks Carol, because we're gonna go for that choice, I think, because I think it'll be a good thing to do and give a +1 to romance with one of them. I don't know anything about what we're doing here, but it's interesting to see. Thank you, Marcus. We made an RPG game together. It's like very community driven. We have a website, so if you do want to have a peek, like there's a lot of stuff on there information wise. So yes, if you like RPGs and RPGs is a genre that you like, then yes. This is basically what it is, your old school sort of RPG style game with stories and characters and all that fun stuff. Okay, so you're hopeless. Let me look at my notes again, because this is all here, so. Okay, so I don't think it needs to be much longer. I think we could jump into giving the hero choice at this point. I thought there was there was an idea suggested last time that Carol starts picking them up for the hero, but I'm not sure how that would be pulled off animation wise. So I'm thinking simply that she'd just have the reaction to the hero dropping them himself rather than go out and actually pick them up for him. So she just stands there and moans at him, and that will get the hero choice in now, I think. So let's just copy and paste this one just to make things easier. And we will, I don't know, I guess we'd get minus compassion, and would we get them? I don't know what points we'd get, but we're definitely going to get a plus romance in one of them. So let's just put question marks for now, just so we can delete that old text. I'm going to look what you suggested, National, and I'm going to look at the notes as well and see what awesome choices we can have for this particular dialogue. So I'm curious now, when was the first romance point we ever have with Carol so far? Here. Remember that dialogue line that I put in the trailer, everybody? Where does the player acquire items during the battle end screen or on the adventure screen, or is it something else? Oh, they would get them at the end of battle. Once you've beat the enemies, once you've cleared the battle, there'll be like a UI menu that pops up showing you what you've picked up. So it would be like your typical end of battle results screen, in other words, when you get the loot, when you get your class points and all that sort of thing. And then it'll be in your items menu, in the menu then, your list of what you picked up. She could tell the player to look away, then get the item. I missed that one. I know, right? Someone suggested that one, Kung, and I was like, that's a bit lewd. But in all honesty, it wasn't like, it's not like that, lewd. It's like just a playful joke, and it fits. It just fit too much to not have. And yeah, she blushes. We need a blushing Carol face eventually. I'm planning on getting more Carol faces. So we've got a more wide range of emotions. She's such an expressive character that she does have to have more than just the 3 she's got so far. So she could tell the player to look around and get the item. We'll see what we can have our choice as, and depending on what the hero could say, we'll probably have more of an idea of how to shape the rest of the scene. So I'm thinking that the second option could be something that increases the romance with Carol. And the first one would be one that, I don't know, even maybe your compassion goes down a bit, or wisdom, I don't know. We'll have to decide. It'll depend what it is. So I could imagine the hero not liking that at all. Like, Carol's a burden to him on his journey. He's probably thinking, just sod off. I'm minding my own business here, and you're just tagging along with me and insulting me. Like, that could easily be the first one, and I could imagine that being some compassion point loss. But that is just one sort of option. The hero could respond in many ways in this instance, and I think this is where we have to get our sort of improvisation head screwed on, so we can think what you would say. Like, what would you guys say if a blooming barrel said you're hopeless? You're not going to be nice about it. You might get a bit nasty, but you might also be playfully banter with her as well, and that would be the one that gives the romance point. Let's have a look. So, sounds fun. Thank you, Marcus. We have a Twitter as well. So if you want to look, because we have a trailer up on the Raindrop Chronicles Twitter and on my Twitter. So if you are curious, then feel free to have a look at those. And the Morning Wood scenes in the trailer as well. What are you just touching that with your bare hands, and you're putting it in your pants? Where would that come in? I'm trying to think now. So you are hopeless. Right, so oh, you mean for when he picks the item up? I get it now, National. That works. Okay, so let's think. The hero kills a toxic plant and tries to pick up a leaf from the ground and drops it. So that, I think that would be good. In fact, we should expand on this dialogue here by adding that. Like, I think we should still have the "you are hopeless," because that shows Carol's sort of frustrated personality off, and getting a chance to do that often makes the affectionate moments more shocking when they do happen. But I think having a bit more, expanding it and showing like a sort of I don't know why I did that, by the way, because we can just extend the box vertically, in all honesty. We don't need to add a second one. So that might be a bit too long, so we'll just put it here. Also, this will be updating real time in the Law Bible, by the way, folks. So you can actually see this in here as we do it. Hopelessly smitten, or is it too soon? Maybe too soon. I mean, I'm very excited to get some of these moments in when the romance starts really getting going. Don't get me wrong, but imagine though if he was like, oh, you are hopeless, and he's like smirking. Well, you know, he doesn't show his face, the hero, but, you know, he's like, you mean hopelessly smitten with me? That'd be really cheeky. I like it. What do you guys think? What do we think would be a nice subtle flow line? Because at the end of the day, this is the first ever potential romance option with Carol in the entire game. It's a big deal. This is a big deal, this one is. It's everything. We gotta make it good. So I'm thinking, I'm trying to think Carol's tone of voice. I'm just going to have a quick browse at some of her dialogue in the fruit scene, because there was a lot of Carol talk in there. And here as well. Oh yeah, she does a lot of question marks and exclamation marks together, so we'll stick with that. I wanted to see if she'd done that before, because I'm trying my hardest to make like each character's tone of voice like consistent with them and unique to them as well. He could only give her a slight flirtatious smile. Yeah, I feel like you're onto something though, Kung. I feel like saying like hope, like following it with like, you mean you're hopelessly, and then being a bit cheeky could work. I'm not sure if smitten's the word right now, because it might be a bit too flirty at this point in time, but I think something could work there similar to that maybe, but who knows. Will come to us, I'm sure. I mean, we don't even have to do it today. What we can do is always just keep it as question mark, and then this is the reason why we have this on the website, so that the community and us can like see that and potentially like over time think of dialogue ideas if things don't spring to mind immediately. So what are you Yeah, let's think about the barrel way of life here. Like, would Carol have witnessed much human sort of stuff? Like, would she have witnessed humans doing things like this much? Or is she the sort of person that lives in her own little world and is just used to the barrel way of life? Because if she isn't used to watching humans, then yeah, this would totally be like surprise at how he's like handling things. So I'm just trying to get into that sort of point of view here. But I think it's good. I think like that sort of dialogue mixed in with the "you are hopeless" is a good combo. Hopelessly smitten, and she's like, say that again, and we're like hopelessly bitten. That plant was terrible. I think she would be used to it. Yeah, this is the thing, like, let's think now. Because if that's the case, if Carol's seen humans do a lot of stuff, I mean, she has lived for how long now? 6 months? Or is it 9 months for Carol? I know Hank and Alvira have lived the full year. So in that regards, the dialogue could always be altered a touch to something like, oh, you flashbacks, and the way that you pick up things with your bare hands, you're hopeless, and something like that. Like she's sort of taking the mick then. If we do it from that perspective, then we can have it with her taking the mick of the fact that humans do things with their bare hands. She's just jealous because she doesn't have any hands. I think she would be used to it. Okay. Hi, Black Udon. How are you doing? Hope you're having a good Monday. Have you never heard that expression before? Might be British. Okay, so now I'm going to look at how Carol's she does a lot of ugh, so she could be like ugh. So this is just what's coming to my hand, by the way. This is what's coming to my head, by the way. So if any of you guys like have other thoughts, feel free to share, because this is what's so fun about this, like bouncing off the ideas off each other. Like National Suggestion was like really cool and promising, and I was definitely like, yeah, this could lead somewhere. But now it's like developed into like turn it into her making fun of how humans use their bare hands, because we thought, yeah, she'll probably have seen humans' way of life. She's not like a naive barrel that's never seen it before. She wasn't born yesterday. She's lived for a bit, so she's seen things, and she probably thinks, I mean, she thinks that humans are silly. She doesn't understand it, so it's an opportunity to sort of have a dig at how humans do things. Every line that you don't choose can get used elsewhere. I don't think you can go wrong with her. Yeah, Carol's a really good one, and I think as long as we stay consistent with her sort of aggression and her blunt personality, we're on the right path. And like I say, that sort of 90% angry woman and 10% signs of affection. It's a sort of thing. You see little glimmers, little moments in her, but they're rare, especially early on. The earlier game we are, the rarer those moments are going to be. But maybe as we get to know her, and especially if you go through the romance story with Carol in particular, she'll be much softer as a character to you. Right, I'm trying to think how to merge these two sentences together, so the bare hands thing, I mean, Carol doesn't have hands. She has a lot of room in her, that's for sure, whereas the humans only have like, well, the hero in particular only has his pockets. So the pocket thing could be something to go off here. She could sort of see it as like, your pockets are inferior to all this space I've got in my barrel. So and then that would be like the perfect moment for her to offer to be the inventory, because yeah, she's just got way more room than the hero's got. You wear your flesh but with your bare hands, so you are hopeless. Yeah, that's true, because Carol's a very flustered sort of character anyway, so we can always like unfinish sentences if we want, that's for sure. The way you flesh bags, and we don't have to have do things. I wasn't sure about do things. I'm not really into the word things, to be honest, because it's one of those words that just get used when you don't know what else to say. So the way you flesh bags, your bare hands. But I liked the pockets suggestion as well. Now I'm thinking of which one we should go for. Because his pockets are tiny compared to Carol, you know, as what her space. So I think that'd be the perfect lead into her being the inventory. So or he could always say with the choice things that mention that he can put it in his pockets there, and there'll be more dialogue with Carol. I mean, there's many ways to tell this, but it's ultimately got to lead to her being like, yes, I'll do it for you then, I'll be your inventory, you won't get jealous of those. I mean, let's get that dialogue box in there as well, the one we ended with before, just so we know how it's got to end. But instead of her being like, I'm going to be your inventory and being all willing, she should be like, fine then. I'll be your inventory. You can put this particular line here, that could be something the hero could say here, like, can't I just put them inside of you then? And then that would lead to her being like, fine, then I'll be your inventory. You won't get jealous of them, will you? I do like that line. It needs to have more context, I think, because it's like, jealous of what? Because now that we haven't mentioned the items, it's not got that context anymore. Little mini barrel pockets, it looks so silly if she were bouncing around the player investigating their small size. Yeah, and she was like, oh my god, how do you fit things in there? And like, she was like going round him and inspecting. Only one item in this one, filled to the brim. This one, what the heavens have you got in this one? Terrible inventory man. See, that would be super entertaining. You know, I think this scene's got potential to be expanded into something like that. So, you know, I think it's worth thinking about, especially because this is like really introduces Carol properly, and we've got to make the audience fall in love in a really weird way. Because, yeah, we can't help but like this barrel, even though she's a pain in the butt. That's kind of what we're going with here. Reminds me of the Harry Potter series. Like, oh, thank you. I like that compliment. Appreciate voice compliments. I love that TY. Yeah, I think if we can work that in this, I think we're on to something. It's just honestly thinking of how to present it and, you know, get it all structured right. But I think we're definitely there. So let's think. So the bare hand thing, I think if we change that to the pockets thing, then we could be on to something, because then that can lead into him, the Carol inspecting the hero's pockets and being like, oh my goodness. And like, because like, she, thinking of it from her point of view, all her life she has been able to store so much inside of her, because she's pretty huge, a lot of space in that barrel. So looking at humans, she's probably thinks, my goodness, like, okay, so I do like the the way you flashbacks line. But are we overusing flashback? I mean, we use it a lot. Is there such a thing as overusing? Don't think, yeah, we didn't use it up here though. Okay, so I'm gonna just look. Or we can keep the bare hands thing and just add the putting it in your pants, but instead of your pants, something like those little holes or something. Tiny or little, what's better? Tiny probably for Carol. Yeah, I feel like that could work. And we'd have some actions in between here, of course, like we can say something like Carol walks around the hero. How did that national word it? Let's have a look. Carol, yeah, we all have hops, not walks, because she doesn't walk. Well, Carol hops around the hero, inspecting their pockets, something like that. So all this, like we're making it work. Oh no, where's it gone? We're making it work in like a short space of time, which is good as well, because then we don't drag the scene on for forever. We like getting to the point. Pacing is important. You wanna be entertaining with the story and the scene, but not drag it on. In my opinion. Right, so since the second time is an aside, it works then. Well, if she knows the hero's name, she could use that. Oh, that's true, because we have named the hero, but I don't think the hero's actually introduced himself to her, because we are going by the whole, you got to introduce yourself before you get called the name, and we don't know Carol's name yet either. We're just strangers at this point in time. I think at this point in time, I like that we don't know each other's names, the hero and Carol. It's like two strangers having a bit of banter, isn't it? But I think there could be a definite opportunity for Carol to ask for the hero's name, maybe at some point, maybe when they get back to Lakefall, or at some point whenever is a good time and there's like a slight bonding moment there. I think that'd be a good opportunity to have a bonding and another romance like point with Carol, the time when she finally finds out his name, or her or they. I mean, we don't have to have this first line. I mean, if we're gonna go for the ugh, we've done an ugh there. We've said flashback before, but I do like inserting the fact that she's like sort of like belittling human culture though. So that kind of shows that her first sign of sort of not having much time for humans in that particular line. So I do like it. It's just the repetition of flashback. So if we wanted to get rid of flashback, we could do that. We could get rid of it from that particular line so that it doesn't feel as, because then that one has more impact. it's like, oh my god, she's calling us flashbacks. That's funny. When we haven't used it before, because that'd be the first time she calls us flashbag, or flashbags in general as a whole, as a sort of group, race of people. The hero saying, what's your name? Mine is not flashbag. Or maybe the hero says, look, if we're going to be stuck together, I'd appreciate if you use my name. Could you imagine Carol using the hero's name? Like, I'm used to calling him flashbag now. I do think one day she would, though. Like, I could imagine the moment she does start calling him by his name could potentially really be a nice surprise, because she's gone from calling him a flashbag and treating him like she has no time to him, to finally giving him a bit of respect and calling the hero by their name. I kind of like that personally, that it would come at a later time, because that shows off that development and that respect that she's gaining through the course of their adventure. I don't think any normal person would put up with it for too long, yeah. Which is why we can really put in a super angry hero choice thing here. Where he's like, because I could imagine, he's not going to react well to that, is he? He's going to be like, just get away from me, I don't need you, sort of thing. And and then maybe Carol gets a little bit hurt by that and is like, well, I'll be your inventory then, or something, and like as a way to kind of feel like, well, you know, I've got a purpose, I'm not just annoying, I can be your inventory, I'm not just an annoyance, I'll do this for you then, fine, like as a sort of compromise. Because then she does have a purpose to him when she is her inventory. Like, she actually, that is a pretty cool thing to be, and the hero can carry more things then. And she's realising by this point that the hero's not wanting to put up with her behaviour anymore, so she's like offering that. Wouldn't want to be called that for too long, yeah. It's just Carol. It's her, part of her character. And it's just how she is. And it would take something away from her if she didn't use it at all. Which is why I'm totally in agreement that we shouldn't be overly repetitive. Which is why I've got rid of it from here. Because I don't think, you know, having flashback twice, it takes away something. It can get a bit much and repetitive if it's overused. So I think having it there, it's like more, you know, it's like, oh, so that's what she calls humans then. Because that will be the first time then at that point. Can we make dialogue depend on class? If warrior, wait, you clinkety clankety had an entire axe and if hunter slinking off to the woods, are you wait right there? That's quite clever. That's quite clever too. In fact, that could something like that could add a lot to this part, because it will just wait up on its own. It is a bit bland, just way up and nothing else. And if we're getting rid of flashback on this part now, so we can have it here instead, which I think is what we're going for, then it would make sense to like replace it with something that was just as good or stronger. And the name thing was definitely one, but I just think there's so much potential in the moment when she learns the hero's name and actually starts using it to see that growth. And I can't see, like, you know, her calling him a flashbag for like forever. Like, she could start giving them more respect as soon as they get back to Lakefall, or, you know, that'd be something we'd have to decide when we feel the moment's right for her to start being polite to him. But the fact that she's offering to be the inventory is something the hero will realise is important. You know, that's a reason for him putting up with Carol, because she's the inventory. So that's something we could say. Hi Rex, hello, just woke up. Hi, how was your sleep? It's your day off, isn't it? Or you guys across the pond have got a day off. Yeah, then you can use a conversation later where the hero confronts her. The conversation where the hero confronts her. What conversation? I need my brain refreshing. Hi Mark, how are you doing? It's good to see you. Hope you're having a good Monday. What's today over there? Yeah, there's a holiday. It's a special day, isn't it? Okay, so going by what National says, because I think it's a cool thing to have that little touch. So this is what we've done before. I think it's on here. So I want to make sure I'm presenting this tidy, because we're putting this on the Law Bible, and this is how we've done it in the past. So I'm going to copy that. So what we're doing, guys, those of you that just come in, we're expanding on the scene where Carol joins the party. Well, the hero, because it's only the hero in the party right now. Because it was a very, very short scene before. It felt very tagged on and very rushed, and like a sort of let's just get this over with scene the way it was before. So we're just spending more time having a bit of development between Carol and the hero, and discussing like the character of Carol, and if she's too annoying to the hero, and what purpose does she have to even be there if she's too annoying, and the fact that if she's his inventory, then that sort of like makes up for the fact that she's annoying, because at least she's offering something. And we just like thinking about just how the scene should all be put together. We had some really cool ideas. So, and everything is on the Law Bible now in regards to the first main quest. So everything you see here right now in the dialogue trees is all main quest 1, apart from this Carol scene, of course, because that one is the middle one, and we're fleshing that one out more now. We haven't done the flows for main quest scene 2 yet. They still have to be put over. They just need to be copied and pasted by myself. So whenever I get time, I'll do that. But Wednesday's stream's a special stream, everybody. It's going to be a time we really, really talk about ideas for the next content, and actually start sharing some cool ideas with where things can be taken for episode 1 story. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be lots of fun. There might be some polls if there's a chance to do them. I'm not going to force polls for the sake of it, but if there's like a bunch of like loads of different ideas, and then we'd have them, especially if there's clashing ideas. But yeah, between now and that Wednesday stream, I need to plan and make sure I've got everything ready that we need to talk about. So I probably won't be doing Main Quest 2's dialogue trees until we've done that and got that stream out the way. Happy Labour Day. Hi Zyra, how you doing? Yeah, I don't know if we celebrate it here actually. I think everybody's still at work today in the UK. How are you doing, Zyra? But everybody else, happy Labour Day. The Empress of the Fringe. Hi Rez, always good to catch you on the stream. Yeah, I'm the Fringe. I'm the Fringe Queen of Twitch. So definitely a good thing to be. Right, so let's get this in then. So, in fact, we'll just delete that for now. And that this voided extended warranty bit will come afterwards. Delete that bit. I'm going to have to make this dialogue box bigger, I think. It's a bit of a chunky one. We'll get the dialogue in first and we'll tidy it up after. Talk about her language, about flesh bags and how that is hurtful. Yeah, that's a good, I think that could be something to put in for the choice here. And actually that would gain the hero a compassion point, because it's showing that you as the hero actually have a bit of like, you know, a bit of tact with how you speak to people. So, I mean, we've only got 2 so far. One of them's going to be a potential romance point gainer. But we can always add more than just the 2. Like, if we can have one that's more aggressive, where he's like, oh, just get out my way, I don't need you. You're an annoying barrel. And then there can be another one that's like, you know, calling people flashbacks isn't really a nice thing to do. And, you know, like, that could be something said. I mean, later on there is a scene reminding ourselves of this, where the hero actually pulls out a weapon because he's getting so annoyed by being called a flashbag. And I feel like actually it would make it better going that way, where he's already warned her once before that, you know, calling somebody a flashbag isn't a nice thing to do. So it makes more sense why the hero would potentially run out of patience a little bit at that point. Like, look, I've already told you, so stop calling me a flashbag. So I think that would work quite well in regards to this scene with the next Carol scene that's coming up when that happens. So we'll get these in first and then we'll go back to that part. I'm good, been cleaning the place since I have time off. Ooh, I did a bit of tidying up yesterday because we had a random man come in my room today and it needed to be tidy. Yeah. Don't worry guys, it wasn't a robber. It was just a man who needed to look at our house because we're selling it. So he needed to check the room so we could put a price on the house. You already have dependent option for the class in case slinking off to the woods are you? Wait, right there sounds nice for both. Hang on, what? I remember the slinking off to the woods one for Hunter. What was the one you suggested for the warrior one? I mean, that could work. National, I mean, we don't have to make it dependent on class. I mean, it's more work for us if we do. I think it can be a nice touch to do that, because it's like, you know, you pick that class and it's showing that the difference now and again is nice. But I think the slinking into the woods thing fits for both classes, so we could do it that way too, unless we had a really, really entertaining one for warrior, which I'm not sure if we do. So we can always do it that way. So oh, I can see the evil hero saying, if you call me a flesh bag again, I'll chop you up and use you as firewood. Oh my goodness. Yeah, like because maybe it's a bit early for him to, because like that would be when she said it again. Like, you know, he's losing patience, but I'm gonna save that dialogue line because I think it'll come in for that moment he really just gets fed up. Nice dialogue line. Nice. Okay, so we got wait up, and Kunga's asked, is it possible to kill Carol? Wow. By the way, guys, I'm going to put a trivia in chat soon, just so you know. You know, it's still early in the month. You can catch up to Van on the leaderboard. Van isn't too ahead yet, so I'll be putting in a trivia soon. And is it possible to kill Carol? Well, it's hard to say at this point in time because we're not in endgame yet. But as you know, Raindrop Chronicles will have multiple endings. Some will be better and less tragic than others. Some will be super tragic. And it's definitely way too early to say at this point in time. I think what I'm planning to do is all the ideas that we collect together over the course of development, I always like keep them like curated. I always have this document of everybody's ideas, and any that like have like some really good potential could like end up being a potential way that we take it. So you never know. At this point in time, she could die, she could stay alive. It'll all depend on your path in the game and that path that you take as a hero and the actions that you do. That happens, we'd have to have an alternate inventory barrel or something consider. Meryl would be the one that now she and Axel, Meryl's too obsessed with running away with Axel, so Meryl wouldn't have an interest being our barrel. I'm trying to think of the barrel gang who would likely be Carol's replacement if Carol was killed off in a certain branch. But by the way, I don't think we're going to kill off Carol in early game. It would probably be much later game because she is such a integral part of the story that it would be like killing Geralt in The Witch or something, you know. Well, he's the protagonist, so I don't know about that. But you know, it's like it would be like killing an often important character. So it would be more endgame if we were going to do it for her. And you never know, because we've got a multiple ending thing. I'm sure it could be very possible that there'll be a Carol die sort of branch for tragic reasons. Got to have it. But yeah, if we were going to do it and it wasn't endgame, like if it wasn't quite endgame and there was more battles still to come, then yeah, there would be a replacement barrel. And would Elvira do it? Hank would totally do it, but Hank's got a hole in him, so unless he got repaired, all the items would fall out. Maybe Woody would do it for us. If you romance Woody, if you go through the romance Woody route, maybe Woody would be our inventory if Carol died. Because he's a box, he can do it too. Yes, I got a knot in the stomach by the idea. That's when you know you're making a good story, when you actually feel, oh my god, about a character dying. Which is good. What about the older guy barrel? Yeah, Hank I could imagine Hank doing it. He'd just have to be patched up, which I could imagine being a thing if Carol died and Hank was still alive, and we only had Hank as our barrel, we as the hero could patch him up, we could fix him. It could be a quest, fix Hank so he can be our inventory. And stick with the cookie jar. The cookie jar's adorable, but he's a tiny little boy, isn't he? Bless him. He couldn't fit much in him. Do you chat wood with that axe? You were sitting in me with the whole time with that. Guys, I love the idea that you said suggesting dialogue options. You know, one thing I was thinking of doing, because I usually copy dialogue options that people give, because you never know, they could make that it could be perfect to slot in at some point or another. I was thinking of making the quote section on the bot a dialogue submission thing. Because right now, let me just do it, ! Quote. I can't walk in a straight line. These are all really old quotes for when I used to like play Dark Souls on stream and stuff like that. And how do we add quotes now? Is it add quote? I can't remember. Yeah, those aren't the commands. I'd have to figure out the commands, but I think it could be an interesting way for us to archive potential dialogue ideas. You'd have to say the character that it was for, though. if you was doing it, and then eventually, in that way, then it's easier job for me then, because it'll all get saved on the bot, and it'll be easier for us to look at the quotes and that way, and pull random ones out. So that's just an idea, a potential idea as a way to encourage dialogue submissions. I was thinking of another romance thing. Can we all get those quotes added into Raindrop Chronicles? Because these are gold. I have chocolate in a big sack. I can't walk in the street. I can't even remember the context of... I guess, yeah, I remember the reindeer one now. It was because it was Christmas. LOL. Yeah, those quotes will not be deleted. If I ever did change it to a dialogue submission thing, then I'd still keep the old quotes. They can make an appearance somewhere. Right, so where were we? We were going to say, I've lost. So, way up. Oh, so we're getting rid of that, aren't we now? Unless we had a super good one for warrior, then yeah, we could have done that, but I'm trying to think where, if so we got you voided my extended warranty. Yeah, that connects fine. So maybe wait up first. She catches up with us a bit, then says that, and then like that would be the response here, like, oh, you're not going in the woods without me. Don't even think about that. It kind of just what's the word I'm trying to say? It stops it being too abrupt, I guess, or out the blue, if we add that wood part. There we go. I don't know about that though, maybe that should be on a separate dialogue box. Or maybe that works the other way around, because then there's more, it links better with the previous sentence then. What do you folks think? Can't say no to more Carol dialogue. You gotta get that Carol development in. She's key. Thing to say, it was very comfortable tied inside. If you're not careful, I might pop back in smirking. Oh my goodness, Kung, you know how to flirt, don't you? My goodness, I'm glad that there's people in chat that are good at stuff like that, because I'm useless at flirting. Absolutely dreadful. I'm not a flirt. Oh my god. It doesn't come naturally to me, you say. But you guys, the community, you'll know the stuff to say. If not the chopping wood line, maybe way right there, big warrior like you, hiding between my slats. My goodness, what are slats? I'm trying to know, because I'm a noob with some words. Can you wink? I can't. I'm not even going to try and wink in front of all of you, because I'll embarrass myself. Okay guys, let's catch up with all the dialogue suggestions and think here, because there's a lot of cool stuff. Kung's Should we go there? Let's see if it'll fit with what we got. So we've got the way you flashbacks your bare hands and your what? Putting it in those tiny holes. And then she hops around, inspects the pockets, and she's like, you are hopeless, because she's like, oh my god, this human, this flashback is so inferior to me. They've got these tiny holes and I'm this big barrel. This awesome big barrel. She's thick, Carol. She's a dream. She's a dream boat. Okay, so it was very comfortable tied inside. If you're not careful, I might pop back in. Okay, so I really like the line. I'm trying to think how we can connect it more with what she's saying, unless we did it again and had another romance line here, because she's talking about the items here. And then it's like kind of gives an opportunity at that point to be like, no, I won't get, well, I'm trying to think, because we don't want it to be too random and out the blue with the dog. We have to make it connect, but it's just so good that I want to put it in. For a barrel, the slats are called staves. A dream barrel she is. Okay, folks, so because the best moment, in all honesty, for Kung's suggestion would have been putting it up here. But I think having a response from the hero this early on is too premature. But if we could talk, like the moment she brings it back up again, could be a moment for him to have that flirty banter with her. This morning we're going through your old YouTube videos. They're so embarrassing. Oh, I'm sure they weren't. We always think that we're embarrassing ourselves, but I'm sure they weren't. Yes, I agree, Rose. Yeah, so it really at this point, I'm going to get a trivia in chat for you all, by the way, because I did promise. What is Carol goal, everybody? So yeah, it's really just making all these lines and thoughts that we're having all like linked together and like fly. That's really what we gotta do. So and we had some hunter and warrior suggestions from National. I thought they were pretty good. I'm not sure if we're gonna fit any of them in now, unless we decided, and to alter that to be based on class again. But okay, so I keep thinking of the hopelessly smitten bit here. I feel like the hopeless line. Well, imagine if he said, you say as the hero, I can do a lot with my hands. I know, is that weird? Because she's talked about hands, bare hands. So that could be a moment for flirting. I'm not the best when it comes to that, so I need your feedback, but I still like Kung's and I want to have it eventually, but I just don't know where it's going to fit right now. Getting back with family. You did it, Kung! Yay! Right, so points, Kung. One. Yay! I've spelt your name correctly, haven't I? Yes, I have. So you're on the leaderboard now. Have to show you a funny meme on that subject. How did Carol become a barrel again? She became a barrel from a spell. It's on the Law Bible, so feel free to read it. It's all super exciting. We've actually got an article. We've got an article dedicated to it. So we've got a timeline here of the barrels and when each of them came to life. We've got the spell was cast in Everbloom Forest. It happened 15 months ago, and it lets you read the article about the spell and all the stuff that's to do with it and related to it. And then it just goes through what's happened since, the fact that she got separated from her family a month ago, which also you can read about here on this. And then at the bottom of the timeline is the moment Carol meets the hero, which is main quest 1 onwards. So that's the present day. So yeah, feel free to have a browse if you're curious about things like that. I mean, all the lore, there's some lore gaps that aren't filled in yet. Of course, there'll always be gaps that aren't filled in. Some things I'm actually going to keep, I might keep unspoiled for you guys on purpose so that there's a bit of intrigue and mystery and not everything is revealed to you all. Because I am making an overarching framework, as you guys know, I've mentioned that a few months ago. So although we do write it as we go along as a community, there will still be that skeleton that it's all built around, because we need that skeleton so things don't go completely chaos and all over the place. So there will be certain story elements that are going to be decided by me alone. And of course, not necessarily me alone, because if you guys say something in chat or you talk to me about an idea, if I'm inspired by that and I think there's like potential, I'm gonna put that into the, you know, the skeleton, the framework. I'll slide it in there. If it fits, then yeah. So, but some of it I might not completely reveal everything. So, but yeah, there's going to be a lot. Like the skeleton's like a small percentage of the whole thing at the end of the day. So there's so much to create around it. But where were we? We're getting off track. Do we still have the previous extended warranty dialogue? I think it got shortened for the Warrior Hunter choice, and it doesn't need to be shorter anymore. Right, what did we do? So it didn't get shortened, it just got changed around a little bit. We just switched the "you're not going anywhere without me" across. The old one was here. So it's just been expanded, and it's had a slight just change of positioning of the sentences. So the "you've ordered my extended warranty" bit has just come after the "you're not going anywhere without me." I think I felt it's because if we were talking about slinging off into the woods, "you're not going anywhere without me" sort of flows from that particular line more, because Carol's like, "Hey, you're not going into the woods, you're not going anywhere without me." And then she continues to talk about, you know, "you've avoided my extended warranty, you're responsible for covering any damages I suffer now." So it's all still there, as you can see. It's just a bit of expansion and a bit of rearranging. "I have the most gentle hands, I can accomplish many things with them." Oh my goodness, Oracle. Oh my goodness, I feel that could be something we could do. What do you guys think? You see, this is what I mean. You guys know how to flirt much better than me. You're going to be the ones putting together all these romance lines, chat, because I'm so awkward when it comes to the flirty side things. I'm okay with affection, like nice, kind words and all that thing. But when it comes to flirting, I'm like, oh my God, terrible. I'd love to learn how to do flirty dialogue, though. This is a learning process for me as well. Do you need me to rub polish all over you? Is that flirting or being creepy? Yeah, so how would Carol respond to something like that? Like, she would probably freak out a bit. I mean, we gotta think. We sort of, are we gonna be subtle with it, this flirting, or are we gonna go overboard? The morning wood line was definitely, well, I think the morning wood was a subtle one, to be honest. It's a thin line, yeah. So that's it. That's why we have to think. So, the hero could say something like, I can accomplish many things with my hands. Maybe adding gentle in makes it a bit like, I don't know, but saying something like, I can accomplish many things with my hands could make Carol feel like, yeah, and it could almost feel like flirting, but it's not too over the top then. What do you guys think? Lewd option, not the first time I've had to put my hands inside. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we gotta, like, be careful. It's so funny, I have to say, and I love it. But yeah. Okay, you see this glove? It's filled with lotion and Vaseline to make sure it's soft at night. Get it? My goodness, folks. It's a good job I'm here to draw the line somewhere. But I think there's definite, from what you've said, I think the hands thing, the Oracle noticed the hands, and, well, did I mention the hands first? I might have. Well, Oracle mentioned the can't accomplish many things with the hands, and I think there's promise with that one. But I'm just, or we could do the holes. I can't see any flirting with the pockets though as much, unless, because she's close to the hero, she's come up close to him, so that could be something. I know, it's a tough one. It's flirted the tough one. It's probably the most challenging thing to put together in regards to dialogue compared to anything else. Mice and Men. Oh, I haven't read that one. It was a book a lot of people read at school, but I never did. Oh my goodness, we're nearly at the end of the stream. No. Okay, let's quickly review everything before we end, because I don't want us to end in the middle of things. I think, yeah, these like boxes we've got here are fine. It's literally just the choices at this point and what Carol says after that. So I think this scene is unfinished right now. We've just got the first part, folks. So we can be happy with the first part of it from this point in the You Are Hopeless section. I think we're all right with what we got until then. But for now, these dialogue boxes, I don't know if we're going to have a third. We might just have the two. I mean, I'd be full reading a third if there's a good one. But right now, they'll just be question marks because we don't know what they're going to say. And it's basically going to end with something like that. It's going to end with her offering to be the inventory, but it might differ depending on what, you know, the hero says to Carol. The dialogue might change. But the one was, I think I liked Van's idea, the one about, you know, calling flashbags isn't a very nice word, and something like that. And then she'd feel guilty, so she'd offer to be the inventory, maybe. And maybe there could be another one that's more angry, where he's like, why do I even need you? You know, I don't, if you're going to be like this, then why even bother coming with me? And then she could be like, well, I'll be your inventory then, like, out of guilt. So that's an option. It's just thinking of how to get the choices to fly with her finally becoming our inventory, so we can either make her feel guilty, make her feel like we're going to get rid of her if she continues this attitude. So obviously she has to make herself useful somehow, which could end with her saying, yeah, I'll be your inventory then. So that's 2 ways. But the romance one, how would that lead to a offering to be the inventory? That's the question. You're right, I am hopeless without you. Yeah, something like that could work. And then she'd be like, yeah, I'll be your inventory then, because you are hopeless without me. Something like that for sure. What do you guys think? You could save, oh, you are hopeless for later if you wanted the hopelessly smitten just a thought. Unless she said it again. It could be a repeated phrase that Carol insults us with. Nothing wrong with that. Like it could be a thing that we bring up again. She's like, you're hopeless. Kind of. Characters sometimes have repeated sentences they use. So, she could say it again, and then at that time maybe we've got to know her a bit more and we can jump in with the smitten line the second time. Well, if the hero says calling people fleshbag isn't nice, then you should have Carol say, well, that's what you are. Yeah, for the romance option it has to be something that Carol likes to hear for her to like you more. Yeah, and that's the thing, if we creep her, Carol's not gonna be like, oh my goodness, this hero is a dreamboat. She's gonna be freaked out by you. But because Carol's very naive romantically, we have to remember that as well. She blushes. I mean, look at her reaction with the morning wood scene. Where's it hiding? She gets all flustered. She's like blushes. Well, that is, oh hush, just get over here. So that's kind of Carol's reaction to being flirted with. She gets all awkward. And over time, she might embrace being loved a bit better. But right now, she's not used to this. Especially from a human, you know, it's weird for her. She doesn't know what to think. So yeah, I think a lot of her reactions will be blushing and using like ums and oh shush and all that sort of things to try and cover the fact, to cover her embarrassment at being flirted with. I think she's not going to actually start embracing the flirting and reciprocating until she gets a bit more comfortable with us. Could you help this hopeless person out? Flirtatious smile. Yeah. So this is interesting. Like the thing with our hero, because we've got so many different custom assets, we can't use like all the expressions that we've got for the rest of our PCs and NPCs. So they're a little bit more wooden than the rest. So it's we've got to make sure with our dialogue that the words like come across the same without expressions. So I think there's potential with that one. It's a hard one though. And then the hero can say something like, that is true, but would you like it if I called you a wooden something? What's a something? A wooden? Yeah, Carol probably wooden, and that's an interesting conversation for a later time maybe. But yeah, the morning wood thing is a theme that comes in later. So yeah, she didn't really like being called a wood in that. Well, she might have. She was just too embarrassed. We've had a few ideas though, guys. There's a few good ones here. I mean, we are coming to the end of the stream, so it's going to be difficult to like set ourselves on a particular one right now. But I'm going to make sure I refer back to those ideas, and at some point we'll get the rest of this put together. I think it's a really good thing that we've expanded this scene, in all honesty, because it's just 100 times better than how it was before. It's just more fleshed out now, and it's one of the very first scenes of the game. It's important. So we've got our brainstorm stream on Wednesday, but there'll be an opportunity for us to finalise this fully, maybe on Friday's stream. We'll see what's happening, because I'm not going to be finishing this today or tomorrow. I'm going to be making sure Wednesday stream's properly planned. That's my priority for the next couple of days, but we will be revisiting this when we can. But feel free to give all your thoughts right now before we say bye for the day. Get all your dialogue ideas in chat. I'll probably collect them and we'll bring them back up next stream. If we've got lots, we might even do a poll if we've got a lot of ideas and we're not sure which one to go with, but we'll see. That will all be next time. So if Carol is prideful and egocentric, then the hero saying something to boost her ego would make her happy. Yeah, that's true as well. I guess it depends on the style of flirting. If it's a bit sexual, she'll probably blush and get embarrassed, but if it's a compliment, she'll probably be really flattered and like it. So it depends on the flirting style, and certain dialogues might have different flirting styles, you know. That's something to consider too. Not every romance point dialogue is going to be a flirt sentence. Some of it will be a compliment. It'll all depend. I liked National's idea about the "you're right, I'm hopeless without you" thing, because it'll make Carol feel wanted, sort of thing, and she'll be like, oh, that might surprise her a bit, actually, having that. But it could come across as sarcastic, that line as well. He's like, yeah, it could easily come across that way, but Carol might not be. I don't know if she'd realise that. You know, that's another thing too. Roomiest barrel, most accommodating barrel, lovely, pretty barrel. Would you assist me with holding my spoils of battle? Yeah, that's very sweet. That's a very, very, very gentlemanly, polite, kind, flirting one. I like it. Writing dialogue is tough because you need them to feel realistic and natural. If she doesn't know about humans, how would she know about... Yeah, that's another thing. There's a lot of barrel lore to fill out because there is a past. There is she has lived for several months. Her and her barrel companions have gone on adventures together. They've probably witnessed things over the course of those months of adventures. They've lived a barrel life together, and they're not really aware of how they came to be at this point. They're just ignorantly and blissfully living their existence. So she's like a little bit naive, yes, because she's not lived as a barrel for very long, but she's picked things up along the way. And I'm sure there'll be a chance for us to have a bit of backstory about how she knows about certain things, if necessary. That stuff would fly over her head. Yeah, the morning wood line for that instance, she clearly understood it, but you could gather that about the hero's body language at the time could have been very flirty and in her face, so that could have been what she was blushing at rather than the sentence itself. Have a little faith in these hopeless hands. I can change your mind on what flashbacks can do with them. We that's funny, guys. So we've had loads of ideas, and there's some really funny ones. We'll review them on Friday. That's what we'll do, okay? And any that we feel are workable. If we feel there's a lot of options and a lot of choice for us and we don't know which one to pick, we'll put up a poll, because that's when we put up polls, when we get a lot of ideas and we don't know which one to go for. So yeah, we'll probably get this finished off on Friday, but thanks for all the thoughts, guys, because it's all very interesting stuff. And kindled rays is a very interesting point about Carol understanding things like sex, and that is something to think about with Carol's romance arc in general, and how she's going to react to flirting. That has to be carefully thought about. Carol is a peeper, confirmed. Yeah, And dialogue for sure is a challenge, but it's so like fulfilling and fun to write a story and put it together. And it takes so much like drafting and redrafting and tidying up. But it's all about the fly for sure. You're gonna make it fly, and you know, be interesting. That's really the thing. Okay guys, so I'm glad we've got those ideas that you might see them pop up again on Friday, but Wednesday we've got a special brainstorm stream, and I'm going to make an announcement in the Discord as well, and important news about that, and I might write a tweet about it too, because I want peeps to know. We want peeps to know about the cool stream. Some people might be sad to miss out, so it'll be a nice ideas discussion, and I'm sure we'll get a lot. We'll probably have, I mean, I might get brain melt on Wednesday because we might get a lot of ideas, and if that happens, if we get a lot, I'll probably just get them all saved and archived somewhere, because sometimes that happens during the idea streams. There's so much info that your brain just stops working, but we'll see when the time comes how we'll deal with that. The main thing is that we get those ideas shared, even if I don't like process all of them in that stream. They'll be there to look at and see, because we will have a few brainstorm streams anyway over the rest of the year for the next batch of content. Okay, so I'm seeing who's online for us. I'd love to raid somebody, guys, who'd like to come along. It'd be fantastic if you did. So Rose Ray Blood, seeing who is online for us today. Thanks for the stream today. It was super fun. You're welcome, Gungy. It was. I'm really glad we made the decision to expand and flesh out that Carol scene more. I think it's going to be well worth it. Thank you, stream. Had fun as always. You're welcome. You're super welcome. Okay, so I'm seeing who's online. Ella's on. She hasn't been on in a while. I think she's just returned to streaming after a few months, so I feel like it's an opportunity to go say hi to her. She's super lovely, and super nice to me, so we'll go over there, and I'll see you all on Wednesday. I'm excited, super excited. Take care, everyone.